My name is Nayadith, and today our discussion is about asthma. I believe asthma is not a new word to a lot of us. So, briefly explaining, when the airways react, they begin to swell and narrow even more, and also produce extra mucus, all of which make it harder for air to flow to the lungs. The muscles around the airways also tighten, which further restricts airflow. That is how asthma comes about. And this asthma as a respiratory disease can be very life-threatening if proper treatment is delayed. So let me give you some of the symptoms of asthma. Such symptoms include coughing, chest tightness, the chest becomes tight, you feel this tightness around the chest, and there will be this wheezing or a whistling sound when breathing. You can also experience shortness of breath. Sometimes there is also trouble sleeping due to this coughing and wheezing during the night. Okay, so someone will ask, what can cause this asthma attack? Or what is asthma attack even about? An asthma attack is a sudden worsening of symptoms. So when the above symptoms that are mentioned worsens, an asthmatic attack can set in. With an asthma attack, the airways tighten, as I mentioned earlier. They begin to swell up or filled with mucus. So when this happens, someone can experience an asthmatic attack. So these above symptoms that I mentioned are normally caused by triggers. That means something triggers it to occur. And these triggers include tobacco smoking. So if you smoke tobacco, you can trigger an asthmatic attack. Yeah, especially those that are asthmatic patients. Or even if you are not, you can cause the trigger of someone who is asthmatic, because they can take in the air from, or the released air from the tobacco that one is smoking, and that might air pollution. So when one smokes tobacco, the person also pollutes the air, so it can trigger. So it works hand in hand. And some respiratory infections such as flu and pneumonia, and some allergic reactions to some foods can also trigger asthmatic attack, and even certain medication. People that are suffering from GERD disease, when I say GERD, is the gastroesophageal reflux disease, a condition in the stomach which back up in the throat. Yeah, a condition in which the stomach acid begins to back up in the throat. So it's like a reflex. So the acid in the stomach wants to back up into the throat. So that is why it is called the gastroesophageal reflux disease. Someone will say, what causes asthma? Even though I've mentioned the triggers already, but according to studies or the research that I've made so far, maybe other researchers have something new from mine. What I know is the underlying cause of asthma is not actually known, but it's probably due to a combination of genetic and some environmental factors, like I mentioned above, that could trigger it. So sometimes they are said to cause them, but they are not the actual causes. So the actual underlying causes is not known yet. If anyone watching this video has an idea about that, the person can bring it up so that we all learn. Alright, moving on, let me move on to the classification. Asthma can be classified into various categories. The first one is the mild intermittent. The mild symptoms is up to 2 days. That one, it occurs, the mild symptoms up to 2 days a week and up to 2 nights a month. So in a week, the person can experience this asthmatic attack twice in a week, and within a month, a whole month, the person can count like 2 consecutive times that the person experienced this asthmatic attack. And when we take the mild persistent, those symptoms are more than twice a week, but not more than once a single day. So with the mild persistent, the person suffers the attack more than twice a week. You see, the mild intermittent, it was like 2 days, or let's say twice in a week, but with the mild persistence, it is more than twice in a week, but not more than once in a single day. Yeah. So when we take a week, you can have like more than twice. So that means 3 and above. But in a particular day, a person will not experience more than one asthmatic attack. Okay, so the third one that I would like to mention is the moderate persistent symptoms once a day and more than one night a week. So within a week, a person can experience a symptom each day and more than one night in a week. And the severe symptoms can be throughout the day. The severe persistent classification, the person can experience the symptoms throughout the day, on most days, and frequently at night. Okay, so you see, before with a mild, for instance, I was like, the person within a week, the person will experience just 2 symptoms, and with a mild persistent, I was like, the person can experience more than twice, but it wouldn't repeat itself more than once a day. And with a moderate persistence, once each day can help us classify the person as moderate, but with the severe, the symptoms keeps reoccurring all the time. Like even in a day, the person can have persistent or reoccurring symptoms of this asthmatic attack. I'd like to move on to the risk factors. Okay, there are a number of factors that can increase the chances of developing asthma, and it includes family history. So children born to parents with the disease, or like any close relative in the family, are prone or they are susceptible to also develop this asthmatic attack. And health history, people diagnosed with certain conditions including allergies and eczema are more likely to be diagnosed with asthma. Asthma can develop based on age. So asthma can develop in adulthood, but the majority of asthma diagnoses are made during childhood. So that means children, studies say that majority of diagnoses are made during childhood than in adulthood. And exposure to occupational triggers such as chemicals used in farming and manufacturing. Yeah, as we said, air pollution. So exposure to chemicals and some occupational triggers can also be a risk factor. And smoking is also a risk factor. And exposure to exhaust fumes or other types of pollution. Okay, wrapping up, I want to conclude with the treatment or how it is managed. Okay, asthma can't be cured. That is what I know. And it can't be cured, but its symptoms can be controlled. Managing asthma usually involves some of what I'm about to mention. So I identify your triggers and what you avoid them. You also reduce exposure to allergens. That means things that you are allergic that can trigger your asthmatic attack. And you can also get regular exercises, because regular exercise can strengthen the heart and lungs, which helps relieve this asthma symptoms. You maintain a healthy weight. Being overweight can worsen asthma symptoms and increase the risk of other health problems. When you like smoking, you try to quit. Then you take your medication as prescribed. You get vaccinated for influenza and pneumonia, as they can be a cause of asthma. And then you manage stress, as stress can be a trigger for asthma symptoms. Okay, and you can also try and practice the following sleeping patterns, because it helps in better circulation and breathing. Okay, that is the few or the brief that I wanted to discuss to you viewers about this asthma condition. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Once again, my name is Nayadith. Makramo.